Carbon reduction expert Qiu Jizhe teaches you a few tips to save money on your utility bills. Welcome to Dial Headlines. I'm Louisa Lee. Thank you for joining us. If you live in an apartment building, you may or may not have noticed the public utilities item on your electricity bill. In Taiwan, the average charge is around $33 for every 2-month period. To give you an idea of how to save that money, we took some advice from carbon dioxide guru Qiu Jizhe.
After moving in, we took a long look to see if we could apply for funding and started making plans because she's an architect and I'm an engineer.
Green Habitat Association President Qiu Jizhe explains how he and his wife, Tan Haiyun, made designs to save money and reduce their community's carbon footprint.
I've had this display box for 3 years. By changing a light bulb, you can save 302 kilograms of carbon dioxide emissions in a lifetime.
Although the difference may not seem startling, when Qiu changed the stairwell lighting in his apartment building, the contrast was striking.
This old one has a fluorescent tube inside. There are 2, but usually only 1 lights up. One tube uses 10 watts, and later we switched to LED lamps, which last longer and only use 1 watt of electricity, which is a 90% saving.
There are a total of 63 emergency exit signs in the building, switched on 24 hours a day, saving 5,000 kilowatt hours a year, or 3 tons of carbon.
The skywell used to be sealed up, you see. There are 2 holes in the middle now. You can see the basement parking lot, and this is the place you just saw. The cars come down here. The air is pulled down from over there and up here. If it's windy outside, the effect of the air being expelled is even more noticeable. And the exhaust fan here before was on 2 hours a day. It used 4,500 watts.
4,500 watts is equivalent to 4.5 kilowatt hours. Using natural ventilation instead of turning on the fan for 2 hours a day saves over 2 tons of carbon a year. Another way Qiu Jizhe and Tan Haiyun cut their carbon footprint is by fitting insulating tiles on the roof.
The outside is rubber from recycled tires and inside is a polystyrene tile.
Before we fitted the insulating tiles, when you came up the stairs, you could feel the hot air coming down. We estimated that in one night we'd use 4 kilowatt hours. But after fitting the tiles, in one night we'd only use 1 kilowatt hour.
Cutting 3 kilowatt hours a day averages out to a saving of over a ton of carbon since the couple fitted the tiles 2 years ago. So much for saving the environment, but how much money did the community save? Comparing the cost of public utilities for an average apartment before and after the conversions, the difference is 535 NT dollars off the bi-monthly bill. So for all 50 homes in the building, that adds up to an annual saving of over 160,000 NT dollars, or 5,300 US dollars. The figure is a sobering reminder that cutting your public utility power bill is not just good for the environment, but is also the neighborly thing to do.
As deforestation takes its toll on Brazil's natural heritage, conservationists hope to convince locals that reserves can help protect their farms' rich biodiversity. Now, campaigners have embarked on a mission to persuade farmers to turn parts of their land into private forest reserves.
Deforestation is a growing problem for many of Brazil's regions. As a result, 530,000 hectares of private land and more than 700 reserves have been legally protected. The Private Reserve Program is helping to protect many threatened species. The conservation project allows individuals to create private natural reserves, legally guaranteeing permanent preservation of selected areas. These reserves are considered important tools for the creation of ecological corridors. Nahami Borba, a volunteer at Rio de Janeiro's Natural Heritage Association, explains how satellite pictures show whether reserves are connecting corridors of forest or not.
This way you can tell whether they are being interconnected or not, because we all know that isolated forest fragments do not maintain biodiversity, so they have to be connected.
Deisa, a chemist with Brazil's State Oil Company, is leading a campaign to persuade farmers in the area of Silva Jardim to turn parts of their farms into private forest reserves. Through a network of NGOs including Conservation International, the Nature Conservancy, and SOS Mata Atlantica, funds are now available to cover the costs for creating the reserves. Every week, Deisa visits new farmers who have agreed to establish permanent reserves. Mariano Damota is proud of his preserved forest.
We had a period here when water was very scarce, but now with the preservation of our forest, the water has started to come up again from the ground.
Just under a bridge, a new fountain has started. Deisa enjoys drinking fresh and pure water from the forest. Ana Cordero says that now the forest is a good investment.
It is a good business as long as we're preserving the quality of life in the place we chose to live.
Deisa has already helped create 10 forest reserves and is in the process of creating 10 more in the county municipality of Silva Jardim.